With an ongoing incident in Glasgow city centre. Sky News understands that 6 people have been injured following a stabbing attack in the city centre, including a police officer whose condition is described as critical but stable. The main suspect in the attack, a man, has been shot dead by police. Forensic officers, armed officers and emergency services are at the scene, which centres around the Park Inn hotel. Eyewitnesses have told Sky News they saw people being taken on stretchers out of the building. Armed police could be seen entering a building, but investigators say they're not looking for anyone else in connection with the incident. A police cordon remains in place on West George Street and the public are being told to stay away. Police Scotland said in a statement, "I would like to reassure the public that this is a contained incident and that the wider public is not at risk." Armed police officers attended the incident and I can confirm that a male suspect was shot by an armed officer. I would like to reassure the public that at this time we are not looking for anyone else in relation to this incident. I can also confirm that a police officer was injured while dealing with the incident and that officer is receiving treatment in hospital. We do understand that that police officer is in a critical but stable condition. Let's speak to Sky Scotland correspondent James Matthews, who joins me now from Glasgow. James, what is the latest there?
Well, it's still a busy scene here, as you can imagine. It happened just about 10 to 1 o'clock this afternoon. I'll step out of shot so you can see the Park Inn behind me. Many emergency services vehicles, police here in force, of course. If you can see that double-decker bus about 100 yards down the street, just beyond that, you can see the white facade of the Park Inn. Now, this is a hotel that's been used over the past few months to house refugees and asylum seekers who have been decanted over the course of the coronavirus pandemic. What happened, according to one person that I've spoken to who was inside the hotel, he said he was sleeping. It was 10 to 1, and he heard screaming. Male screaming, female screaming. He was on the 3rd floor. He said he headed towards reception via the lift. Now, the elevator, he said, was covered in blood. When he got out into the reception area, he saw a male receptionist behind reception who had suffered an injury, was covered in blood and was gasping for air. He said there was a second male receptionist who was on the exterior steps of the hotel, and he similarly was injured and was gasping for air. Thereafter, what happened was the police were called, armed police officers turned out in force, and the perpetrator was shot dead within the building. In terms of the confirmed figures we have, there is 1 dead, and that is the individual who was wielding the knife. There are 6 people in hospital. They include a police officer whose condition is described as critical but stable.
Yeah, and in terms of the response to it, as we saw those images, James, a short time ago of the armed police responding to it, entering the building, and a large police presence there now. What can you see?
Yeah, let me just, we're live, David, we're live. Apologies for putting you on the telly live. Can you tell me what's the state of play at the moment?
At the moment, Jim, we have 1 person dead. We have 6 other people in hospital. I don't have their conditions, and obviously inquiries are ongoing. So,
a police officer amongst the injured as well?
Police officer is one of them. Okay.
What can you tell me about him?
I don't have any information just now. We'll update you as soon as we can.